Have you ever wondered why your vocals keep getting buried under the instrumental like this one here?
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
Do you know the trick that a lot of engineers use to make vocals feel more glued into the beat? And even though without having a lot of stems like this one here, we just have only the beat and the vocals.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
Could you spot the difference? I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the difference between fighting the beat and owning the mix. Hey guys, I am DJ Legion from Audio Waves Academy, and in this video you will learn how to mix vocals over a beat without constant EQ battles. And I know that a lot of people have the Waves plugin, so I will focus a bit more on the new Waves plugins that you can use only on your vocals. But before we go there, we have to go and clean up the beat so we are not competing with the vocals right from the start. The first plugin that I use on the beat is the FabFilter Pro Q3. You can also use the Pro Q4. And here we can see that I did a small dip, a dynamic dip near 49 Hz, because I thought that the kick hits a little bit more hard as it should. So I was taming that region to help open up a room without dulling the energy. So if you have a listen. And I am having on linear phase because I didn't want to introduce any phasing issues. If you are watching this video right now on your headphones, you might hear it, but if you are using on your laptop or maybe your phone, it will be difficult to understand what is going on. Now the next step is really crucial in my opinion, and we are going to talk about unmasking. I have also shown in some other previous videos in this channel why unmasking important is, but I want to show again here, just repeat just like the three best plugins in my opinion that you can go and use for this purpose. The first plugin that I used here to try to figure out and to see if it works properly is the Neutron 4, and here inside you can go and choose the unmask. Right now I have the unmask, and if you choose here the sidechain, it's going to be the vocal on my audios. This is going to get triggered every time that has some masking issues with the vocals while the beat is playing.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
And it found that we had some frequency clashings here in these high frequencies between 2.5 until 10K, somewhere there. And the next plugin that I want to show you is going to be the Track Spacer. This is just a simple plugin again. I love this plugin because it is really super simple. It will duck only where the vocal lives. So right now here you can see that I have the low cut and the high cut at 20 and 20K. So, and I choose here again the audio of the vocal.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
And I can push it.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true.
I just overdid there because I wanted to show you how it sounds. And if you want, you can go on the low cut.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine.
And tell to the plugin, okay, now I want you to duck only in this frequency range. The next plugin that I want to show you is one of my favorite, and I love it. I use it like always. This is going to be the Swift 2, and it smooths out harsh overlaps between the beat and the vocal, but it does it much more differently in comparison with the Neutron and the Track Spacer. Here I try and keep it again pretty simple. There's a preset there that it is named Balance to the Grammy Awards, which you can choose the whole frequency spectrum and have it on soft. Right now, let's go and put it back again. And I choose again on the vocal to be sidechained.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own. Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own. Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah.
The difference is there, but you have to listen really carefully, because if I overdo it again, if I go and push it on hard,
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah.
it is really bad. And again here,
Beat on the A, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head.
I find again too artificial in my opinion, so let's go and bring it back on soft. And now we have much more control on the frequencies that are clashing between the vocals and the beat. You can choose between these three plugins, the Neutron 4, the Track Spacer and the Soothe 2, and decide your own way which works better for you. But for me, this is my personal preference. I always use Soothe 2 when I want to achieve something like this. Now the next plugin is going to be the Pro Q3, again on the beat, because I want to fix some small issues that I found there and try to give a little bit more space on the vocal. Here in the FabFilter, you can see that I have some small cues there, some small settings, different settings. And let me show you a trick that you can go and use in case you don't know it. If you go here on Analyzer, you are going to choose, for example, here the audio. On the sidechain is going to be the vocal. And here you can choose different. And now I choose just the sidechain. And if I have here on the spectrum, you are going to see that we have two different graphs, the red and the white. The red represents the vocal and the white represents the beat. So here right now, it also, the FabFilter Pro Q3, it helps us a lot to understand which frequencies are the ones that are clashing a lot. Here, for example, we have some frequencies. And if I go and deactivate all of them, and I'm doing this one on purpose on most of these EQ points on mono. I'm just taking out the mono, and really important here, again, I am using the linear phase on medium mode, and I am just taming only the mono frequencies, the mid frequencies, because I want there is where the vocals live, and this is what I want to achieve with these EQ settings. I want to give more space for the vocal to be right in the middle. So that's why I am taking out only the mid frequencies here on this dynamic EQing. Now let's go on the vocals. For the vocals, I used only Wave plugins because I know that many of you rely on Waves plugins. So the first plugin that I want to show you is the Clarity VX Pro. This cleaned out some ambient reverb from the recordings. It is really subtle, but it clears the space instantly.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own. Beat on the edge.
Yeah, we didn't have so many things to take out, but I wanted to show you this plugin because it is really great for people that are recording at their home. The next plugin that I will want to show you is the Deep Breathe. This is a lack of I have a preference. It depends on the producer and on the mixing engineer. Me, when I try and mix or maybe produce sometimes a track, and I send the track and I get back the vocals and they have a lot of breaths. It is natural, right? I just don't like them a lot to my track, so that's why I always use this plugin.
Beat on the edge.
For example, here right now, let me go and break it down a bit.
You know that my heart is yours to steal now. Beat on the edge.
Can you hear this more?
You know that my heart is yours to steal now. Beat on the edge.
For example, I didn't like it. I just want to take it out.
You know that my heart is yours to steal now. Beat on the edge.
Magically, it was disappeared. Now the next plugin is the Silk Vocal. This is a new plugin. This is like for the new generation plugins of Waves. I really like how it sounds. This plugin gave me that warmth, like a Dexter Drake style that I was looking for here right now. But let me play with and without.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own. Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
These are just some small adjustments there, but I think that somehow it adds some kind of harmonic color, like tape saturation for your voice. If you want me to do a more in-depth video for the Silk Vocal plugin, let me know in the comments below. Now the next plugin that I want to show you again is the IDX Intelligent Dynamics. It works like an OTT, something like this in my opinion. And at the beginning I was not so sure about this plugin. I just wanted to see if I could add some spice.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah.
And if you can hear it like with the track again.
Beat on the edge, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be
it helps the track, the vocal, to come through right away with just these settings here. But let's also have a look what it really does on the vocals. If you have a close look right now, it plays on the background, and right now it is activated. And if I go and deactivate it, you're going to see that the waveform is going to get a little bit thinner. You might think, okay, I'm just adding some volume, but this is not the case right now with this plugin. I think like it is a hybrid between compression and tonal shaping. And now the last plugin that I'm going to use is going to be the Q10. And I found some spots again here from the vocals that I want to tame a little bit there. And the IDX just added some harsh frequencies that I want to take out. So that's why you're going to see like have some small adjustment there. And finally, I'll just go and use the favorite Artvox plugin here for compression.
Beat on the A, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
Yeah, okay, I understand. You might think, okay, why I need so many plugins? But sometimes you might need a lot of different settings to achieve the sound that you really like. And now let's go on the final part, which is going to be the sends. Here I have some different sends. The first one is going to be just a reverb, and I'm going to use again the Abbey Road here from the Waves plugins. This is a really nice reverb in my opinion, and I'm going to use just a track spacer to give some space when the vocal plays, so it is not going to be like really wet.
Beat on the A, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah.
The next send is going to be a delay. Again, I'm going to use the Valhalla delay. This is one of my favorite plugins. I know that it is not from Waves, but I find this like it's a really slept plugin in my opinion, the Valhalla delay. I love it. I use it like always. These are just some simple settings. Right now here you can see that the mix is on 100%, and I am just sending a little bit.
Beat on the A, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true.
And again, I'm going to use the track spacer technique because I don't want the vocals to be overwhelmed from the delay. The next send is going to be just a doubler here, where I'm going to use the simple doubler from Waves again. And this time it's on 100%. I just used the doubler because I wanted some subtle width, and I use it just on a parallel send. It keeps the center right tight, but it spreads the vocal really nice. And now here, if you have a closer look, I am going to use on a pre-fader. This chain is where the vocal power comes really in. In case you don't know this technique, it is pretty simple. I am just setting the vocal, it's like a double vocal, to a send without any processing that has already happened. And now I'm going to process the vocal a lot. For example, right now you're going to see that on my Pro Q, here on the Pro Q4, I just took out a lot of here from these frequencies because I want the parallel to have only the body of the vocal. It will not be so easy to hear, so let me go and push it up so that you can hear, but it's not going to be like this in the mix.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
And the next plugin that I'm going to use is the Neutron 5 because I found that there are some sharpness here from the transits on the vocals.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah. Give me something true instead.
Something like a smart compression, like with a really quick attack and a quick release. And now here again, because I wanted to have a bit more control on these transients.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah.
This is how the waveform looks like now.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah.
This is what I want to achieve with parallel processing, and if I go and take out everything.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head.
You are going to see that the waveform is much more different. So let's go and activate everything again. And now again I have some compression again on this parallel.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah.
But this time with a slower attack and a really slow release because I want to have total control for the vocal.
Beat on the A, yeah, messing with my head, yeah.
And really important, no auto gain here. Let's go and have a look on the last plugin. This is going to be, a lot of people do not use this one on the vocals, and you shouldn't use it also on the vocals, but I am just using it right now on the send because I want to have this full control, as I already mentioned.
Beat on the A, yeah, yeah. Messing with my head, yeah, yeah. Give me something true instead, and I'll be just fine on my own.
This is what I want to achieve here. I want to have this crashed waveform on the vocals. Now keep in mind that this chain will not work perfectly on every song, right? Your source material really matters, so okay, I'll show you how this works right now on this track, and I might also change a lot of things later, but I found a good idea for a video today to show you that with just some smart, let's say, plugins from Waves, you can achieve really great sound if you know what you are doing. And by the way, guys, if you are a beginner and you want to learn how to mix but you don't know where to start from, I have a course in the description below where I show you the mixing essential skills that you need to learn.